Welcome to the Dudeology Show, where real dudes discuss cool stories, awesome stuff, and killer gear. We're your hosts, the professors of Dudeology. Make sure to check us out, dudeologyshow.com, at Dudeology Show on your socials, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Welcome to the Dudeology Show. We are here at the Really Good Beer Stop. But before we get started with some great guests this evening, just a little public service announcement. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to. Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Good. Yeah. So right here we have me, I guess, from left to right on your podcast aisle. We got Chris, my main man, Gambino. We got Denny McCaffrey from episode three, Battle Site Zero.
Battle Site Zero.
We obviously have myself, Brandon Mosley. We have Tim Brack, owner of the Dudeologist, owner of Really Good Beer Stop. Episode 13. Beer Me, episode 13. And from several of our episodes, our resident all things military, Pat Eliason. So, hey, welcome, guys, and cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys. Cheers.
All right. Now, last time on episode 13, there was kind of like a little. We tried a lot of beers and everything, and one of the beers you brought us in was a sour beer, and particularly, it probably was one of the worst things I'd ever tried before. Okay, but you told me to give it a second shot, so you kind of got us a little sample of this.
Yeah.
And so what am I doing now?
This is called Trio from a brewery called Yazoo out of Nashville. They'll take a sour beer, they'll put it into wine barrels. That's why it gets the red tint to it. So you get when you smell it, you smell a little bit of almost wine type smell. Yeah. That's a great look.
Yeah, I mean, it smells delicious.
You look like you're smelling. It smells like you're smelling wasabi.
It smells slightly less shitty than the other one that you gave me, but okay.
Shitty, so, there's a big distinct difference, though. The other one was a spicy pickle. Yeah. This one's going to just be tart.
It sounds enticing.
So like drinking a Warhead. So cheers.
All right.
Cheers. Okay,
it's that good. It's that good,
wow.
folks.
You know what you're missing out on, man.
Stings the nostrils. Yes.
And like most of these guys do, they justify it by it's slightly less bad than the last thing we did.
It is slightly less bad than the last thing we did.
I would like to call out what Chris is drinking now from the show. He's now
It's an acquired taste.
He is. And before, but you weren't before, right?
No, he wasn't an IPA person.
Right.
Changed his mind. Changed his mind. So we're at your new location here in the Nocatee Town Center. You guys have, I think, been officially open for 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yep.
How are things?
It's been good. It's been a consistent flow of people. We're excited to be part of the community and happy to be here.
Yeah, and we're glad you're here too. What has been your number one seller?
Still IPAs. So hazy IPAs. We've had Karate on the Garage on from Southern Swells quite a bit. I think that's what everybody here
it's the most popular outside.
Drinking Life in the Clouds.
Life in the Clouds, yeah. So the hazy IPAs have always been a hit. What I found down in this area, though, is folks really like wheat beers, lagers, so we're going to continue to bring those.
Do you think it's just because it's like 110 degrees outside right now?
Could be.
Could be the heat,
Could be the heat, so we'll see. But
Mix it up.
Yeah. We've had a lot of folks come in and say, I drink Bud Light, which is how I started the whole journey. So I'm excited to get to train them a little bit, or at least teach them new things.
How much of that? What's the number 19 up there on the screen? The Widowmaker. It's like 15% alcohol out there.
See, back in the day, that would have been a good one for me.
That would have been you back in your drinking days.
For the record, he has non-alcoholic stuff too. Just
Kombucha. That's Bourbon County brand stout from Goose Island. They'll take a big stout that's 10, 12%, and then dump it into a bourbon barrel for 6 months. So you get the hints of the bourbon, the vanilla, all the other stuff coming out of the bourbon goes back into the stout.
Wow. That's fantastic.
It smells wonderful.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So some of our listeners and viewers may be wondering, like, wow, why are these guys on September 12th sitting around at 10:30 in the morning drinking craft beer? Which is a really cool thing. It's a fun thing to do anyway. But we do have
football on today.
Yeah,
it's
just a regular Saturday. No, we do have some kind of responsibilities as productive citizens of society. But it is September 12th, and because September 12th on a Saturday, there was a fundraiser that we were part of through an organization a company called Go Ruck, and through the Travis Manion Foundation. And Tim, you've been kind enough to open up a little early, and you've done this with some other organizations as well, where you really kind of are able to give back. So thank you. Is there anything you'd like to say about that or about any of the other organizations that you guys are supporting here?
The biggest thing is our goal is to be a community type tap room. So obviously you can come in, have a beer, enjoy the community, be part of it. But if we can give back by hosting events or helping with fundraisers, we're absolutely willing and able to do it through groups like this, as well as Mission Morale and some of the other ones that we're part of.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it, brother. And thank you
Absolutely.
for doing this, and we'll continue to support you in every way we can. We love
Absolutely.
we love what you're doing here.
Hold on.
Yes.
Every way we can, we're going to keep coming in and drinking beer. Let's not
Yeah,
actually.
it doesn't have to be. As
He's going to clean. He's going to help clean the place at the end of the night.
The way I look at it is every day's a fundraiser for you, for somebody, right? Somebody's getting money. So
So my wife was here last week for yoga class, and she noticed one new addition to the place. Can you tell us about the first aid kit and why that's necessary?
You really want to bring it up?
No.
It's called a field dressing unit.
Field
right?
dressing unit.
Many injuries come from
Many
doing
injuries.
yoga and a beer.
That was a head ran into a can, we'll call it.
Tragic.
It happens. It happens every day.
It happens. It happens to the best of them too.
Frank the
and
Tank,
the,
I
and the
heard.
worst of them.
Yes.
Happens to the best of them and the worst of them.
We might have video that we could post. So.
Nice.
Maybe check it out. That may be a good Dudeology dude hack. What not to do? How not to crush a beer can against your head.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe a good one. How not to
Yeah,
crush a beer
yeah.
can.
That's
against
something
your head.
that's usually contained into your 20s. Usually, when
Typically.
you exit the 20s, that also the beer can crushing usually stays
In
in
your
that
40s,
decade.
though, and here's the funny part. I think Tim was a little nervous. If someone was litigious. If I blamed everyone else for the dumb things I've done, there'd be a lot of people.
You'd be rich.
Yeah.
You'd be rich too. And if you were successful in half of them, it depends. But you'd be rich.
But peer pressure still works in your 40s. So
It does.
That's right.
Isn't it
Especially when the ladies
crazy?
are out.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Isn't it crazy?
We're men.
Some of
It's
the
gonna
dumb,
work for
some of
your
the dumb
dad.
shit that you think you can still pull off, like, and whether it's like physically or some
I don't know
stunts
anything
or
about
whatever, in your 40s or 50s or however old, that you're like, oh, I feel like I was just 22, 23, like a couple days ago, and you go in and then you're like, maybe not a good
Even
idea.
crazier.
Maybe
was
not a good
The
idea.
conversation with my wife the next day, she's like, I thought maybe you had a trick you were going to pull. I'm like, the trick I pulled was I did crush the beer can.
This was a Navy trick I
He
hadn't
hits
seen
himself in the head.
before.
Oh, it stops. This might have been a bad idea. Then he crushes it anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, we're going to get back to our Saturday morning, but we did want to talk a couple minutes just about. So the fundraiser was kind of around, instead of doing like a 5K run or triathlon or anything, it was around a Ruck march. So Denny, tell us a little bit for the folks that don't know what is rucking and how to kind of some of the benefits of it, and how do you get involved with it?
So rucking, there's a lot of rucking communities around the country, but rucking in essence is just putting weight in a backpack. You put weight in a backpack and you walk. I mean, at the end of the day, you burn more calories than you would without walking or walking without weight. And the loaded weight actually it helps you burn calories, helps you build strength. Actually does help work your body. And look, human beings have been walking with weight with our stuff for since the beginning, right? So I think it's a natural act, and there's a lot of groups. A company called Go Ruck, who's based here in Jacks Beach, kind of got it very, very popular by sending out. They design rucks. They've actually formed rucking clubs around the country, and a lot of people ruck, and then they go have a beer afterwards. You know, and it's just a good. You get camaraderie. Obviously, we all get together, and you have time to. When you're rucking, you can talk, you can tell stories. It's very good for fellowship. And during COVID, I was talking to one of the guys we're walking with today, and he said, "Hey, it was the thing that saved me during COVID, during the lockdown, because I was able to get out of the house and walk. You can listen to a podcast, you can talk with other people. It's just a great exercise, and you can use the ruck for a lot of other things. I think on episode 3 when I was on, you can use it for lifting weight. You can lift weights with it. You can do overhead press. You can do any number.
You said
of
that's your
exercises.
max bench, that 30 pounds.
Yeah. Nowadays, at 51 years old, that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
Nowadays.
Now, did rucking originate in the Marines or the Army? Come on, I know you're a Marine.
Boy,
you're a
I don't
former
know.
Marine.
I don't know. The Army, or in the Marine Corps, we called it humping.
Humping.
Yeah, that's a word
There you
too.
go.
That's what we used to.
We called it humping, and it was brutal.
Yeah.
So
Well, you can say it.
What I found about the difference between the Marines and the Army, the Marines did it, and the Army wrote a 300-page manual about it.
Yes, and changed our uniforms 3 times while we were in the
Yes,
process.
yes, that's
But I
right.
do remember when kind of we saying like rucking, I was like, man, like that was one of the things that I was like dialed into, like when I was in, like I
Well,
could
we
like,
could
ruck
still
the
see
hell
you.
out
You
of that
still
thing,
can
dude.
ruck. You
And I think
still
just because I was
walk.
just built like anatomically with like longer
Yeah.
legs. But it's like there's like fast twitch muscles if you read about like sprinting, and there's kind of like I guess your slower twitch, which is like distance. And a ruck, if you read about rucking and the exercise of it, it's really around like that medium twitch muscle.
That's right.
So it's literally it's like walking with weight on your back, and you can. I do believe though that something I found is the weight plates. I think work a little better.
Yeah.
There's specific weight plates. And then what about the packs that you use? Which ones are your?
So I use
faves?
the Rucker, and the Rucker has a very specific pack for the plate and it carries it very high on your shoulder, almost like a radio. When you're if you're a radio man back in the day in the Army or Marine Corps, you carry it high on your back, and it's very configured very well, so you can walk very, very well with it for any number of miles. You can loosen it up and take the pressure off your shoulders at any given time. But I think the Rucker I like because it has handles on both sides. You can use it for working out as well. You can use it for doing kettlebell swings or overhead presses as well. So I like that one. I also have a GR1. Now GR1 is like a more substantial pack. I use that for traveling for work, and I put my laptop in it.
Nice.
You can put even an overnight stuff. And
now for all of our listeners out there, he's talking about Go Ruck's specific rucking backpacks, the GR1 and the Rucker. Go check that out at goruck.com.
That's right. And there's other brands.
And there's actually right now there's a full-grown man twerking on the other side of the camera, so we're gonna laugh.
Yes.
There you go. That's the Navy version of humping, I guess, right there. I don't know the Air Force version. So, but that was entertaining. That's awesome. So that's what happened this morning was a ruck to raise money. But why were we doing this, Pat? Will you talk a little bit about?
So we talked about it. We talked about the opening of our ruck 7.5 miles ago. But Travis Manion, 2004 grad at the Naval Academy. We've kind of had our lives. I don't know Travis, but I feel like I do based on our lives touching an eye. I'm a 2000 grad at the Naval Academy from Philadelphia, stud wrestler at the Naval Academy and Marine officer after he graduated. He was in Iraq in 2007 on his second deployment there in Al Anbar province in Fallujah, and went out to go with his guys. They met sniper fire in a horrible part of Fallujah, and Travis, being the high impact man that he is, cast aside all caution and went and rescued his guys and ended up being killed. What I love about the story is that when you hear everything about Travis, he worked every day to get to that day, to that culminating point, not to knock him home, but to save his Marines. And awesome foundation. His family, his dad's a retired colonel, Tom Manion, and his sister actually started this foundation, the Travis Manion Foundation. And their mission statement, what they're trying to do is kind of bring veterans into the community and really kind of grow the community, looking to young people, just grow the community. And they do, this is their kind of major flag event they do for the year, the 9/11 Heroes Run and Ruck. And this year with COVID, they went virtual. So what they did was they kind of threw it out there. And what's been fun to watch on social media is they're in about 12 to 15 cities right now where they have the event. It's all over.
It's everywhere.
So what we've done, we try to post on social media today what we did. And we had 25 run it. And we ended up doing the event's a 5K, run or ruck. We actually ended up doing more of probably 12K.
Yeah.
We did 7.5 miles this morning. One of our F3 brothers was running the virtual Boston Marathon today. So we met him, we rucked past him, we cheered him on, and then we went around with him for a couple miles, came back and rucked some more. It's a really good beer stop. Any workout you can start in the morning and then end up at a beer place at 10 and it's socially acceptable to drink.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Thanks
Now,
again,
what
Tim,
are the resources that we raise, the money that we raise? What specifically does the Manion Foundation do?
Yeah, so what they do, and one of the things that I find when I look at any charity I want to be a part of, you want to be transparent with what your finances are. You want to make sure every dollar you're doing it's going to the right thing. And I think Travis Manion Foundation did a great job. Denny set up the F3 Jacksonville name, and his name's been on it, and good for him. But we've raised about $1,500 towards this foundation, and really what they're doing is trying to build communities. And they're trying to build communities.
Hey, can you guys pause for a second? Hey, can you tell your little brother to shut up? We're trying to record something in here. All right, you too. Sorry. Sorry for all that, but you get a bunch of swinging Richards in one place, and it's bound to happen. And another Navy guy is doing.
I don't know. Yeah, what is going on?
A monkey humper? Is that a Navy thing?
The monkey humpers.
Anyway, so what do we raise money for?
So we raised $1,500 for the Travis Manion Foundation. Their mission, they do events, they do different things to really veterans that are getting out, transition them into being not just people, not just men and women that are getting out, but they're leading their community. So all the values they learned as veterans. And look at two of you guys, and I'll tell you, I did 20 years, 24 if you count my Naval Academy time. Look at you guys. You did one enlistment.
I did 4 years. Yeah.
But you came on to be high impact men in your community. They're looking to keep that going, and that's one thing.
They support Gold Stars too, don't they?
And they do a huge thing with Gold Star families. So Travis Manion was roommates with Brendan Looney at the Naval Academy, best friends. Brendan ended up being killed a few years after Travis was as a SEAL in Afghanistan. They're buried next to each other in Arlington National Cemetery. President Obama spoke at them in 2008 when he talked about how great this generation is. And so what those guys have done is a great thing, but their families have done a great job of carrying that out. And honestly, it's kind of one of these things, if you start a good situation, one person thinks about it. If you start a great situation, 1,000 people think about it. And what those guys have done with the Travis Manion Foundation, very grassroots, getting after it. I just recently, part of my retirement, I said I need to kind of give back a little bit. This nation has been phenomenal to me for 24 years, supporting me. I need to give back, so I'm starting to volunteer with Travis Manion Foundation. That's the kind of things they're doing. They're in schools, they're with veterans organizations, but very grassroots.
Awesome cause.
Very much being part of things. So that's what we donated to today. And I can't think of a better organization. And honestly, a better story. If you don't know about Travis Manion, Google him, and it'll kind of hit you in the feels, about what he was
just
all
a
about.
solid guy.
Yeah, I think
what he did.
For all dudes out there that might be sitting on the couch wondering how to get started, I think the order of operation is go read about Travis Manion. You'll be inspired. Go put some weight in a backpack and go for a walk.
Yeah.
Get off the couch.
That's right.
Because
Get moving.
you're doing more than the guy that is sitting on the couch. And I know you guys have mentioned F3. I'm wearing an F3 hat. You're wearing an F3 shirt. Look up f3nation.com and find a local chapter near you and start meeting up with some other guys that can hold you accountable. It's free to all men. It's peer-led. And then, have a beer every once in a while. Maybe stop at a really good beer stop. Hopefully, not necessarily in that order, but you can have a beer first if you want. But get out there and get after it.
Chris, I kind of jump on. So Travis's thing, and I told the story at 7 a.m. when we started. Travis had a football game with his brother-in-law and an Eagles game. Go Birds. And he was getting ready to deploy for the second time to Iraq, and he knew this time was going to be pretty crazy. It was in 2006, 2007 time frame. Things were heating up. And he at the top of the stairs at the link where the Eagles play, he said, his brother-in-law said, Trav, I'd love to push you down the stairs and break your leg and wouldn't have to deploy. He said, if I don't deploy, somebody who's less trained, less ready will have to deploy. If not me, then who? And what a great slogan to think about. If all of us, as we build communities, as we father, as we parent, as we do everything else, if not me, then who? Who's going to do it? So I think that kind of grassroots, it doesn't need to be raise $1 million, maybe raise $1,500 and get a bunch of guys out rucking.
It's a very stoic type saying. I think Marcus Aurelius or Seneca, somebody had a very similar saying.
Yeah, someone's going to have to go ahead.
At your age, you served with him, right?
Yeah. We went to high school.
Listen, all the things that we discussed is what we would refer to as some good action. And this is September 12th, and 19 years ago, on September 12th was probably one of the times this country was most unified, more unified, at least in my existence than I ever remembered. There is a lot more good action that unifies us than that doesn't. So please kind of keep that in mind as we go about our days and our lives and our communities. And here at the Dudeology Show, we appreciate all the men and women who were, who kind of, because September 11th and what happened, kind of stepped up and stood in the gap and continue to do so. First responders, everybody. And we appreciate businesses that still kind of honor that and allow organizations like the Manion Foundation and Go Ruck that really encourage and inspire us to remember those things and to use that to inspire us to do better and do great things and make the world a better place. So thank you, and y'all have a great day.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to The Dudeology Show, your spot for cool stories, awesome stuff, and killer gear. Make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite listening platform and follow us on social media at Dudeology Show.